Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about the firmware updater. Firmware acts as the device's complete operating system, performing all control, monitoring and data manipulation functions. Firmware updater is a tool developed by our company specifically for upgrading firmware in order to iterate the firmware and upgrade the camera. Firstly, we will introduce the general firmware upgrade method. Click Tool and click the Firmware Updater to open the Updater window. Then select corresponding device type, like charge, USB, or camera link. Please note that the firmware can only be upgraded when the status of the camera is green. When the status of the camera is red, it means the camera is being connected by other device. Please reconnect the camera physically in this case. Then select the device you want to update and select Update Files, DAV files, in the local PC. Finally, click Update to start updating. The device will reboot automatically after updating the firmware. The firmware updating process may take a few minutes. Please wait patiently. During firmware updating, do not disconnect the device or switch power off. Next, the firmware upgrade will be demonstrated by a video. Click Tool and click the Firmware Updater. Check the camera you want to update, and select the corresponding firmware. Wait for the updating process. After the camera reboot, you can connect the camera and check the firmware in MVS. Now we will introduce the firmware upgrade method for frame grabber. Click Gentle and right-click the frame grabber. When you want to upgrade the grabber firmware, right-click the grabber firmware to upgrade firmware. The upgrade of frame grabber will take effect after you restart the PC. Next, we will show the actual operation video of the above part. Click Gentle and right-click the frame grabber, and then click Upgrade Firmware. Select the Update Files, DAV files, in the local PC and click Update. The upgrade of frame grabber will take effect after you restart the PC. Some cameras with large resolution can use USB cable to upgrade the firmware. Firstly, you need to prepare an Android cable. The cable must be able to transmit data. Then connect the cable to the USB port of the camera with the computer, and plug in the power to the camera. The new USB drive can be found in my computer. Put the firmware into the USB drive. Next, disconnect the camera's power cable. Finally, reconnect the camera, and you can confirm that the firmware upgrade is complete in MVS. Next, we will show the actual operation demonstration of the firmware updater. Power the camera. Connect the USB cable to the USB port of the camera with the computer. Put the firmware into the USB drive. Reconnect the camera. And you can confirm that the firmware version in MVS. The above is a demonstration of the actual operation of the firmware updater. Thank you.